Telling. We've already through the entirety of the month been talking primarily about composition and framing, in regards to like how composition and framing can enhance your photography overall. So today we're going to kind of dive a little bit deeper into that, and overall just kind of help you guys be able to take these different frameworks and be able to use them past this, because as you guys know, this is our last week, what I'm saying, of this class. I'm gonna also like start locking class at a certain time, no cap. Like I think I'm gonna start locking it by like 8:15. Like I think 8:15. Like if you're just not in it, bro, you're just not in it. Cause like the ding ding be like throwing my thought process off, or I gotta just make that bit like open or something. But see, just did it right. But today we're going to be going over visual storytelling, and I'm going to be showing you guys some images that I've also captured myself, but things that have also helped me. So let me go ahead and turn this entire like thing off so I don't have to hear it no more. All right, let's lock in. Put the headphones on. Let me lock into my space and shit. Lock in. Yeah, we here. What's up, y'all? What is up, everybody? All right, if you're tuning in from YouTube, you guys will not be able to participate in the class, but you guys will be able to, watch and get the free game. If you are tuning in from the Patreon and PNG University, you will be obviously able to participate. You guys are in the class. If you're tuning in from TikTok or Instagram, you guys will be able to receive this free game as well. But I won't be talking directly to you guys. You guys will just be able to soak it up. All right. So just stay, lock in, soak up some of this game. If you want to see what's on my screen and what I'm actually teaching, go ahead and go to YouTube Taxi PNG so you can view what I am viewing and what I'm showing in the class. But as far as participation, you have to be in the class. There's 50 slots per month, and it's like a rolling calendar and a rolling enrollment. So if one person leaves, then one spot opens up. For example, we had 2 people leave. We were capped out at 50, so they might not be going into next month. So that means we will have 2 slots available. So if we cap out at 50, you'll still be able to join PNG, PNG Kulture, and like you'll be able to join the Patreon and the learning community and the mentorship, but you won't be able to get that one-on-one, class that we have every single week, like we do Mondays and Wednesdays, right? So yeah, so if you guys are in the class, if you stay in the class, then you continue to get these classes. But if you don't stay in the class, somebody may take your slot and you might not be able to get back in. That's the only bad part about this. But I got to cap it out at 50 because I can't grade more than 50 people because it's called sustainability, and I don't want to die. So got to keep my mental and everything in there. So today we're going over visual storytelling, man. I actually really tried really hard on this today, so I want you guys to be able to see this. I did my big one. Yeah, boy, I created a whole little, okay, stop playing. I really did something today. So does it look good for everybody? Y'all see it? Can y'all read it correctly? Because on my screen it says it's backwards, but I know for a fact it's not. Right? Visual storytelling. Y'all can see this? Everybody just text in the chat. I'll tell y'all when to speak. Text in the chat, all right? I don't mean it like that. That sounds crazy, but I just want to make sure that no audio on the recording gets fucked up. So just text. All right, bet. All right, so let's go ahead and lock in. I'll let y'all know when I'm open for response. All right, I got y'all. So let me see. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let me put this in here for you guys. Let me see. Live photo class. Let me see. There we go. All right, so visual storytelling, bro. We've been talking about this a lot. So it can kind of go for photography. It can go for videography. It can go for kind of really anything that I would say want it to go for, and what you want to use it for. But we are hybrids here. So if you're a videographer first, then you're a hybrid videographer. If you're a photographer first, then you're a hybrid photographer. And I categorize myself as a hybrid photographer, being that I do primarily photography first, and then videography, filmmaking, and things of that nature second. So today we're going to be going over hybrid photography, but in the terms of storytelling. So things that you can do to continue to, utilize the composition and framing that we've been learning, but into your photos and videos for clients, for yourself, for anybody, to help, make them continue to come back for one, but also add more of a story overall, right? So let me go ahead and add this for you guys. See, for anybody that wants to join the community, I'm gonna put the link down there for you guys on YouTube for today's class. And I'm going to go ahead and pin it for you guys. If you guys want to join, I put the Discord for you guys, and all the information about classes and everything will be in the Discord. So once you're in the Discord, you'll become a part of everything and be able to see it all. All right. So let's go ahead and lock in. Let me see. So the first thing I want to say is visual storytelling. The quote that I made for myself today was pay attention to the shots that you take, because every shot needs to have a purpose. So when you are taking these shots, you want to take the shot I mean, you want to make the shot rather than just simply taking the shots, because a lot of us be spraying and praying, and it sometimes spraying and praying is okay because you kind of like, if you're doing something that you've never done before, you kind of have to spray and pray, right? So when you just shooting, you hope something good comes out, or you hope that you can select them, or you hope that your client can select some that are good out of the batch of what you just sprayed and prayed on, right? But you want to actually take, the actual steps to get better images, right? And the best way to do this are using these three things. I tell you guys all the time. If you guys watch my YouTube videos or anything, or watch any of the Patreon, or just talk to me normally, I tell you guys, these are the three types of shots that I love to get at all times, right? So pay attention to the shots that you take. Every shot needs to have a purpose. You need to take them and make them have intention, right? So first thing I want to show, let me see if it's going to allow me to write on it, because I think that it allowed me to draw on it. I was drawing on it earlier. I'm trying a new thing when I make these slides out, because I feel like the slides be helping me a lot more, because they allow me to, draw on it how I want to be able to draw on it like before, but at the same time being able to be serious, I guess, in a sense, and show you guys what I'm trying to do. So let me go ahead and see. I'm testing it out before I put it up there so I don't look crazy. So I'm about to test it out and make sure that it's doing what I want it to do, because I don't know how to do all these different little commands, but I'm going to figure it out. So I think one is by finger, and then the other one is I don't know. Let me see. Nope, that didn't do it. So what about, let me see. Hold on, present. And then I think, do I swipe up for the next thing? Put this right here. Nope. Hold on. We learning right now. Hold on. I got y'all. All right. Let's see. See, I don't even know how to use this damn pen. I'm gonna figure it out. Do I just do that right there? Oh, okay, bet. All right, y'all gonna work through this with me. It's fine. All right. So the first thing I want to tell you guys about is the different shots that I like to have when it comes to visual storytelling. The first thing I like to do is focus on details, right? So details isn't necessarily the first shot that I would, let's say, take, but it is the first shot that I would make sure that I keep in the back of my head when shooting, which is why I chose to, talk about details first, because when I'm shooting, I'm already thinking in my head, what kind of detail shots can I get to make this overall shoot look good, right? So these details are the things that make the story feel more personal and not just feel like you're just spraying and praying, right? Details alone. If you get none of the other shots that I'm going to explain today for you guys, like in your videography or photography, at least get some details, right? If you don't pay attention to nothing else that I say today, details is the one thing that'll make you stand out from so many other photographers, because what does it do? It shows your clients that you care. It shows your clients that you took your time, that you took, to be precise, right? And to get those extra shots that you needed in that shot, right? During that shoot, right? So when you do this, and you actually take the time and you slow down a little bit rather than just spraying and praying. Sometimes spraying and praying is good when you have having that as a skill, like not just spraying and praying and not knowing what you're doing, but imagine spraying and praying and knowing what you're doing, and having these frameworks in the back of your pocket to be able to use at every single photo shoot that you do. It's different, right? Being able to have these things to know, like, okay, I'm spraying and praying, but I still got these in my back pocket that I know I need to get these three different types of shots, right? To have a variety of shots for my client, right? So what do details do? Details add to the story, right? They give you emotion, they give you intimacy, and they give you context beyond what is the main subject in the shot. So we know that in my shot right here, this is my main subject. Being that this is my main subject, you don't see any other parts of her. You're seeing the details of what she has. But even if I were to zoom in a little bit more and I only cropped it, let's say for example, if I cropped in and I only had got the shot of just this eye right here, that's still a detail shot, because it's showing her nose, right? You see her nose rings, you see her eyebrows, you see the makeup. This shows that detail, even down to the little diamond on her eyebrow. So this already itself was a nice detailed and intimate shot to be able to show that extra emotion, right? It's close up. The subject is the frame. That's probably the best way to explain a shot like this, is the subject is the frame, right? So you zoomed in so much that you got that detail, but being that it has intention on it, right? So not just, zooming into somebody's elbow or zooming into their forehead, but zooming into something that is details, that shows that they took their time to put together their outfit, or you took your time to put together the props or to put together the shoot overall. it adds in that detail. Detail can be things of, their hands, rings, accessory, jewelry, you know what I'm saying? Different things like that. Fabrics on the clothing. Maybe they have a certain type of knit. Maybe you're shooting for a clothing brand, and that clothing brand has a specific type of knit that they want to be shown. Like, oh yeah, this is, a different fabric of garment. This is not just cotton, right? This is something different. This is not cotton. They might want that to be shown. You have to be able to get that detail to show how it's woven, right? For that, let's say, for example, you're doing fitness. Right, you may be doing fitness and you want to get detail on maybe the facial expression of them sweating. It shows that intimacy, right? It showed the details, right? You might get details of that. You might get details of them if they have like a fitness, fitness product. Maybe they have a weighted vest. One of my clients has a weighted vest that she likes to show off, and it has the embroidery on it or the naming on it. She might have their hands near that. That adds detail, right? So whether you're shooting for brands, regular people, even if it's somebody's birthday, you get the details of the nails on the cake. These are so many different things you can do to just, level up your photography immediately. Even if you don't really know the settings yet, lighting, all that stuff, you don't understand it fully yet, but you understand it pretty good enough. Understanding these things right here are going to help level up your photography to the max, right? One of the first things I focus on is details. I ask my client, oh, what kind of props did you bring? Or what kind of props do I have? Or what do you need, right? When you figure those things out, I know she's bringing a cake. I know she's bringing flowers. I know I have flowers. I'm thinking about things like that. Okay, boom. When she walks in, I'm looking. Okay, what is she wearing? What does she have on? Okay, she has, rhinestones around her eyebrows. So I know she took time to do that. That is a detail, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, she has little cat eyes going on, this, and that. So that means you took time to do that. You have detail. You have a lot of, she has a lot of different pearls around her neck. I know that these are details. So there's a whole bunch of different things. Look at their nails. Look at the bangles that they may have. They may have different types of jewelry on their hands, different fabrics, different things that can tell that they took time. Even the fabric right here on her sleeve is a form of detail because it's a different type. It's laced, right? So it's like a laced fabric. So different type of fabric. So all these different things you can be thinking about when you're looking to get some detailed shots, right? So the importance of detail is that it allows you to focus on, subtle details allow the photographer to transform, multiple images into a strong visual narrative, right? These details will help create emotion, right? Context and a story. That's all within this one frame, right? All of these things work together to tell one overall story, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the next one. Details are what make this story feel more personal, right? Personal, close, things of that nature. Some detailed examples, these are shots that I have taken myself. And a lot of these were very, very recent actually too. So these are detailed shots that I try to make sure that I get. For example, if you can see right here, when I did the wedding shot, I got her ring, right? They had like a different type of ring. So I made sure that I got on that. Her ring, her touching onto him, his neck lining, a little bit of his beard in there to be able to still show, right, that this is the husband, right? So these details help out a lot. So another thing that I wanted to make shoot too is when I did the shoot for her birthday last week, things like this. I have her details. She took time to put these accessories together. She was on Fashion Nova for a really long time. So doesn't she obviously want those things to be shown, right? She wants those things to be seen. So details, right? Details here matter. Things like that, details. She sat in that chair for 2 hours getting her nails done. You think she don't want them nails being shown? Details, right? She took a long time to get that cake, details. So I took little details of the cakes right here too. These are all detail shots. She took her time to find the right socks on Amazon, details, right? So little stuff like that, details with the heels, nails, everything like that, framing a frame within a frame. So the overall image here now is the subject, but now the shots, you take exactly what we've been learning in class, right? So foreground, middle ground, background within a detailed shot. So now, boom, I'm zooming in, right? I'm not using the location. I'm using the subject as the foreground, middle ground, and the background, right? As the rule of thirds, as the leading lines. I'm using everything on that subject as those things now, right? So literally just like this right here, as you guys can see, I'm gonna show y'all. Can I make this skinnier? I want it to be smaller, but I don't think so. So right here, we're focusing on the rings, right? You got their hands leading to the rings, everything leading to the rings. It's all built inside of this. Same thing I'm showing you guys. Everything leads to your eye, leading you there to look at there, right? Everything makes it to where the rings are the important factor, right? So with everything, even details. But she took time to make this. My client told me that, oh my God, like just talking to your client will tell you too. Like your client will be like, man, I took my time to really, make this cake or make these, roses or whatever it may be. And you know that it took them time to do so. So you want to, I don't want to say exaggerate that, but you want to bring more attention to it, because when they see that you take time and when they see that you pay attention to details, it will give you a better review overall. But then they will continue to come back because they know that you, Taxi, right, or you, Sham, or you, Carolina, or you, Sean, you, Garyon, right, you, C, Neo, LHJ, y'all focus on details. I gotta go back to them because, bruh, he had my junk looking like a Pinterest board. She had my junk looking like a Pinterest board. This is what people like, right? They like the details. And these are the shots that you may take on accident. I found out, about details by accidental shots. I'm not gonna lie. I was taking shots trying to frame up something else, or I zoomed in on accident, or something bad happened, and I would take it, and my client loved that image so much. And I was like, I didn't like it because I'm like, it ain't really focusing on nothing, or you don't really see nothing. But she's like, oh my God, it's like the detail. It's like a Pinterest board. I'm like a Pinterest board? Then I started looking at Pinterest boards, and I'm like, it's literally like a Pinterest board. It's got the hands laid out, all sorts of stuff like that, right? So these are things that people like, right? So keeping that in mind when doing shots for your clients, whether they ask for them or not, people love them. And it sets you apart because when they're scrolling through their Pixie Set gallery and they stop, they're going to stop on those detail images. When they look at those detail images, they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I love that image right there, right? So these are little things right here that you can see. How can we see the sample that you're showing on YouTube? So YouTube is Taxi PNG. Go to the YouTube Taxi PNG, TAXI PNG, and you can see what I'm showing. Go ahead, LJ.
I'm gonna ask a question in case somebody might not ask it, but could you give an example of like how you would frame or how you have framed a detailed shot inside the rule of thirds?
Bet, I got you. So boom. So using that rule of thirds, I was literally doing this earlier. So because I know I was gonna get asked that question. So here with this detail shot, you guys can see if you know how the rule of thirds runs, then you know how I would frame this up. So boom, through the eye, right? This is the rule of thirds grid. Same way how I told you guys having that golden rule. The thing that I'm focusing on right here, I have her eye on that third, right? Then the thing of, or to the other side is the rest of her. So now I know that her lips and her nose is what else I want in that other side of the frame. So on this golden rule, we got this one. We got her eye. On this golden rule, we got her lips. So it frames up that face. You guys get what I'm saying? So I was focusing on the eye. I know that I wanted her eye in it because I knew she had a lot of detail going on in her eye. She had the cat eye. She had the single eyelashes, the singlets on the bottom. I knew that she really took her time to do that, and she was like, "Oh, I did it." But I'm like, I need to take her time. So I'm like, okay, how can I frame this up for her to be able to bring that extra detail to it? So I focused on the eye, and I let everything else frame that shot. All right, did that make sense? And does anybody else have any more questions about that? I'm probably gonna show another example, but if anybody has a question, ask it now while I still got it up, so I can go to the next one. No, good. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and erase that. So I framed that one like that, but the next one I can show you guys for the other examples of how I framed it too. Was same thing, about the same concept. Honestly, the thing I had of importance on here was the cake, and I had her feet in there. This one I went for a straight on rule of thirds at a low key low angle. I always tell you guys, like, today we're gonna be talking about wide, medium, close, which I like to call tight. So wide, medium, and tight, and then detail. These are the 4 shots I love to focus on. Tight and detail share a lot of the same kind of like attributes or characteristics, but wide, medium, detail. Wide, medium, tight, wide, medium, close. However you want to like say it and frame it up, but those are the ones that we're focusing on. Those are the 3 that I always make sure to get, and those are the 3 that will always set you apart in photography. All right, because it shows that you care and that you weren't just spraying and praying because all of your images weren't wide or all of your images didn't look the exact same. You want scroll stoppers. You want your clients to go through their gallery and not know what to choose and have to get extras, right? This is what we want. We want scroll stoppers, right? You want them to be like, damn, I'm hard. You want scroll stoppers. And the best way to do that is to have variety. And the best way to have variety is a 3-3-3 rule. I'm always telling y'all this. And if y'all watch my videos, y'all know, but if y'all don't, I'm going to tell you right now. 3-3-3. Wide, medium, close. Right? Low, medium, high. Right? wide focal length, medium focal length, close focal length, and you can match them three however you want. That's a three. I got my 3-3-3. When I'm out shooting and my client's doing one pose, before they change that pose, I'm hitting 3-3-3. Change to the next pose. 3-3-3. Next pose. We got so much variety within that. Within just that, it's not a whole bunch of just straight on images. I'm just spraying and praying, spraying and praying, spraying and praying. I'm 3-3-3 the whole time, right? I'm wide, medium, close. I might do a wide with a tight focal length, right? Wide with a tight focal length. That's you mixing them up how you see fit for your shots to get variety, right? I might do. You could do a wide shot you could do a wide shot with a tight focal length. Let's say for example, if you're at 70 millimeters, you have to back up really far, of course, to be able to still get that wide shot. But it's gonna give a different feeling and a different emotion than it would if you were at 24 millimeters and you were close. They would look more wide. So you could still give an establishing wide shot, backed up. So back to what we were answering before I get into those next things. I just gave you a little peek into that. Didn't mean to do that. Sorry about that. So as you guys can see, boom, framed it down like this. This one was at a wedding. So I framed this one up along his bow tie and his arms because I feel like those are the things that were important to me. I framed him up in the middle again, just like so. Same thing with this one. I chose to put her in the middle of the box. I wanted to try to get his necklace. Damn, I drew that incorrectly. I wanted to try to get his necklace on one of the thirds, but I was moving a lot, so I tried to frame it up just like that. All right, same thing with this cake. Same vibe again. I want the cake to be in the middle and both of her legs to be the leading lines. Same thing with this one right here. I just decided to spread it again for this one to be the middle, like I showed you before. Same thing again. Center. Because I know that the importance of this image right here, these are rough drafts of rule of thirds, guys. The grid, this is a rough drawing. Don't do too much. And I knew that the important parts were her hands, so I wanted to focus. The important part that I was focusing on here was her nails. So if I know that her important thing that I'm focusing on is her nails, then the things that are going to lead me to her nails, damn, bro, I just used the wrong drawing tool. Just hold on real quick. There we go. So I know that the things that were going to lead me to her nails were going to be her arms, which led to those nails. All right? That makes sense? Y'all got me? You got me? Bet. All right, we're going to go ahead and erase it. When I get better at this style, it's going to be so lit. Because I feel like after each class, being able to put it visually and allow you guys to see it rather than just talking at you guys, but allowing you guys to have something to see would be really cool. Go ahead, Dapper. Oh, so I can't zoom in, bruh. Oh, my God. Sorry, I didn't know I could zoom in. All right, go ahead.
So basically, you're just kind of like applying all the composition rules to these pictures, to leading lines and such.
Exactly. So you're applying everything that we've learned in class on a smaller scale, right? So before we're looking at the entire image, right? The entire image, the foreground, midground, background of the entire image. Now we're looking at the foreground, midground, background of one subject as the image, right? As the location, as the space, right? So we're zooming it in, we're honing it on a smaller scale, right? Rather than that large scale, looking at the subject itself, the background, boom. Now, the main point of focus might be his knuckles. The main point of focus might be his bow tie, right? So how can you frame these smaller details, these smaller things in the overall image, right? So this is like the same thing, like this also helps you with product photography. You can even run it over through there. If you're focusing on something as a product, how can you focus on one thing inside of the entirety of the image, but still allow the rest of the image to frame that thing, right? So same thing with all this. Like we're focusing on the cake, but everything else in here plays a role. Everything else in here plays a role. I don't know how to make this thing smaller, but the little thing will never be smaller. But yeah, everything else in here plays a role. Same thing with here. Everything plays a role. This detail shot, I love that little shot that I was able to get with the shoes. Is it gonna? What is it doing right now? Because it's glitching out. All right. I don't know what it just did. But yeah, so those are detailed examples once again. So we're gonna move on to the next one. Does anybody else have any more questions about detail before I go on to the next one? So all you're doing is applying every single thing that you've learned throughout this entire month of class, right? Question: When shooting a subject wide, the top line of the rule of thirds, do you line it with their eye or their shoulders? That depends on how you're shooting it. So if you're shooting it at a lower, if you're at a lower angle, 333. If you're at a lower angle, you're gonna line it up with their eyes. If you're at a lower angle, then you would line it up with their shoulder, whichever one gives them the most space above their head, because you still want that extra up there, right? Can we get slide or resource on 333? I got you, bet. So that's what we want, right? You want more space above their head, because sometimes when you're too cropped in and you do line it, you don't give them even enough head space and foot space, because people are cutting threes, right? That's kind of what we're talking about here too. We're talking about a wide, medium, and then a close, right? A close or a close-up shot could even just be their head, right? People are cutting threes. You got head shots, you got a quarter, you got a half of the body, and you got like a quarter thirds, because they're split in damn near threes, right? Who just raised their hand though?
It was me, but I was just telling you that it was a question in the chat.
Oh yeah, D had one. Okay, bet. Can we get a slide or a resource for 333? Bet, I got you. I'm gonna write that down right now to make a video on 333. I got you. 3, video X slides. All right, so I'll do like a detailed thing on 333 for you guys. All right, so for the next one, who just raised their hand? Somebody just raised their hand. Go ahead, D. Okay, also with the hill, how do you line up with the hill? What do you mean hill? Oh, the last one I just showed you. Like with the hill. I'm like, the hill? What hill? All right, hold on. Make sure it allows me to draw on it real quick. Present. Hold on, I got you. I'm trying to make sure it lets me draw on it so I can show you what I'm talking about. All right. Okay, you said with the hill, how did you line it up? With the hill, how do you line up the rule of thirds? I swear I drew it for y'all. But the way that I lined this one up was I went through the cake to be able to have it. I'm trying to draw. It's not drawing. Bro, come on, bro. See, bro, this is where it comes at. This is where the okay, alrighty. There we go. So my goal was to have the heel in the middle. I want it in the middle. And as I told you guys with 333, I shot it at a lower angle shooting up. So that way I didn't see the bottom of the heel. I didn't want to see the bottom part of that heel, because hills are usually dirty at the bottom. So I shot it like the cake was larger than life. I made the cake seem more important because I shot it at a higher angle, right? It's like a hero shot, right? Where it's like dun 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 dun. But instead of it being a human, this is a cake, right? It's the object. So and it's balanced on her heels. And with this shot, a lot of people think that people will lay on their back and put their heels to the sky. Not it. Lay them on their stomach and have them put their knees up, because it's easier to balance a cake or anything on their feet if their knees are settled and they only have to balance from their calf down. If they got to balance their calf, their thighs, their quads, and their hamstrings, it becomes a core workout, and you're gonna break something, it's gonna fall. I've had a lot of cakes fall in the studio. Do not let a cake fall in the studio, especially if you're not gonna see that part, their whole leg, anyways, right? Even with this shot right next to it too, I had her. This was the one that she did the core. This one was a core workout, so I didn't have her balancing on her legs on this one, but I had her put her legs up and put her feet up. And what this is, this also gave that detail, right? It got to show off some of the nails, some of the details in her bracelets, but also her socks at the same time, right? Boom, 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 boom. Was gonna have my client lay their back. Yeah, definitely don't have to lay on their back, because you're gonna drop. I've wasted so many backdrops playing games. You're gonna don't do that one, bro. They're gonna no. There we go. All right, so wide shots. Now we're going on to wide shots. We're moving on to wide shots, right? A wide shot definitely is an establishing shot. When you're shooting more so wide, it is showing the location, showing where they're at. This is good for a whole bunch of different types of variety, but I use every single one of these ones that I'm going to be showing you guys today in class for every single type of photo shoot that I do. I don't care, right? If it's a grad shoot, if it's a wedding, if it's branding, whatever it is, I use every single one of these. This is how I frame all of my shots, right? I use that composition and framing like I taught you guys like throughout the semester, right? But on top of that, I'm utilizing these wide, medium, and closes, right? And then close is a brother to detail, because close and detail, you have that close shot, which could be just a headshot. You got detail, it could just be an eye, right? So it goes even deeper, right? So it goes wide, establishing shot. It goes medium, right? And then it goes close. We got to go to medium. I'm gonna go to medium and close later. Then it goes close, then it goes detail. But I wanted to focus on detail first because I always look for the details first, so I even know how I'm gonna frame my shots afterwards. All right, so with wide shots, right? I'm leaving it up here too, so if y'all be screenshotting and shit, y'all can do that. With wide shots, what wide shots do for our subject and our client? Wide shots matter to our client because they help them remember where the moment was, right? Where it happened. If it's at a wedding venue, they want to remember the space, the location. I take pictures of the space and location with people in it. So this is still a wide shot, right? Wide shot of the couple walking away. Wide shot of wherever they're at to establish the location so people can see, oh my God, you guys were on a barn, or oh my God, you guys were in front of a this, or you guys were that, or it adds that story, right? The whole idea here is visual storytelling through imagery, right? Visual storytelling through still images is what we're trying to do as photographers. We're trying to tell a story. Why would a photographer, get chosen over another? Is because they're how do they tell their story? How do they convey an image? How do you make a client feel when they look at their image? Like, how do I feel? Like, am I like, oh my gosh, like that's amazing. Oh, that's beautiful. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, how are you conducting those shots, right? So it adds some cinematic value to the gallery as well as the album, because when they're scrolling through, it's another one of those scroll stoppers. It gives you variety. When they see that, they're like, oh my gosh, like this is a beautiful shot. Like, oh my God, because you had to take so much more time to line up all of the elements. You had to take so much more time to line up all the elements. You had to truly get surgical, right? To line up all the elements to make them make sense in a wide shot, because you're lining up everything. You're focusing on everything, right? It creates, even if you're making content, it'll create a strong opener for reels, for slideshows, for your website, or for, a videography for your client, or a music video, whatever you do. These establishing wide shots help start the story, right? I feel like the wide shots are always the start, and then all the other shots kind of come after that wide shot, right? So wide shots set that stage, so that way every shot afterwards makes sense. The wide shot will set the stage, so that way every other shot that you take now afterwards will all make sense. All right. So your client may not think about them or point at them first, but they definitely will feel the difference if these shots are missing. So if you only have close shots, if you only have stuff like that, clients a lot of the time like the wider shots, because if we're being honest, everybody has their insecurities and they love details sometimes. They love all the other shots sometimes, but if you miss out on the wide shots, you want to make sure that you get every different type of shot, so that way the clients that do feel like, they don't like this certain thing or that certain thing, they have variety, right? So I have a lot of clients be like, oh my God, like, I like those wider shots. Like, I like them more wide. Now that I've done variety, I show you the camera, you look at them, right? I'm not answering any questions right now. I'm only answering questions on what's the name. Sorry, you guys. Anybody that's asking questions on Instagram or TikTok, I'm only answering questions for the class. I'm running a live class right now. I'm just letting you guys watch along. So I hope y'all respect it. I'm giving y'all a free game so y'all can just watch and listen. But the priority right now are my students. So if you guys keep asking questions and you guys don't get them answered, don't think that I'm, neglecting you guys. I'm just prioritizing my students, right? So the wide shot allows them to, be able to see themselves in totality. They get to see their entire fit. They get to see their shoes. They get to remember exactly what they wore at the same time as remembering where they were, what props they had, what location they were in, whether this be studio or this be on location. These are some vital shots to have, right? So what does the, wide shot do for storytelling, right? The wide shot, it supports the subject. It removes, some pressure, because it's not so tight, right? So if you start off with detail, it's like, oh my God, like you're kind of getting hit hard. You want to make the story flow. So I would start with a wide shot, then I would go to a medium shot, then I would go to a close shot. The wide shot is the start of that story, all right? The wide shot is the start of that story. It makes it flow. You want everything to flow, all right? So it allows natural movement. It shows scale, strength, and presence on your clients. It shows that strength and presence for your subject. Whoever you have in your frame, it shows that presence, right? And especially if you frame it up to where it's just them inside of the shot. Let's see. I gotta keep adding people in the class. Especially when it shows, the location in that shot. it adds to the story because now you have that setting, right? So wide shot gives that setting, all right? It makes the subject feel a part of something bigger rather than feeling so tight. For example, like a wide shot can be misused if you do what D did last week and you make their floor be too close to them, or you take it too tight where like the top of the frame is their head and the bottom of the frame is their feet. That's not a wide shot, guys. Like that's not a wide shot. You're not showing enough of the location, all right? You're not showing enough of the location. That's not a wide shot. Widen it out. I feel like if you take your time to travel to a location and it's a beautiful location, you need to show the location, right? A lot of times I will see photographers leave a location and they only have medium close shots or like, head top. Like the entire frame is the subject. For some of your shots, at least some, like the entire frame should not be your subject. You need to be able to show where that location is that you traveled to, all right? When you travel to a location, you travel 2, 3, 4 hours to this school, travel 2, 3, 4 hours to this pond, to this spring, to this wherever you went to, and you ain't take no wide shots, no establishing shots to get the location. You just folded, right? Because now, especially with people who love to blur their background out, like when you like to do that low aperture, you telling me you're doing low aperture and you're not showing the location? Come on, bro. You gotta throw some in there. You gotta add some variety, all right? Wide shots help the subject ease into the shoot. They also help your client get more comfortable with the shoot. If you start taking detail shots immediately, the client, I've noticed from my experience, the client is a lot more uncomfortable because I'll do a lot of wide shots first, and then as they get more comfortable with the vibe, then I'll get more closer shots. Because especially if you're somebody using a prime, not me, but if you're especially using a prime, getting close up on a client makes it uncomfortable at the beginning of the shoot. You get what I'm saying? So start off wide, start far away, and then as the shoot progresses, it gets more comfortable for those extra detail shots to be able to be got, right? And then a lot of the time people wear outfits on purpose, or certain types of outfits to where they want them to be shown fully on camera. They want their shoes to be shown. They want their dress to be shown. They want, their suits to be shown. They want everything that they put on to be like, yeah, I put that on. You know what I'm saying? They want it all to be seen and be shown, right? So that's the most important part. Somebody raise their hand, or is that another guest? I'm about to close the class. All right, let me see. It's just that ding be getting me. All right, so yes, bet. So setting the scene, right? Wide shots help you capture the broader context of the story, right? So every story has context, has reasoning behind it, right? It emphasizes the environment and the surroundings in that environment, right? So if you have a cow over here, or you got a tree that's actually really cute, you want to show those things in your environment. Or you have a sign that you want to bring extra, attention to, as well as your subject. You want to show the environment. It establishes that story. It physically, it's probably like the backbone of the story. If you miss a wide shot, it's really kind of hard to tell the whole story because I don't even know where you're at. Right? You can't tell a story without a setting. You don't have a wide shot, you don't have a setting, right? You can't tell a story without a setting, right? So it provides the viewer with that essential information about the location and the setting, which enhances the story, right? So a wide shot does, for us, it establishes that mood. It introduces the environment into the story. It gives context before you get to see the emotion, right? Closer shots, more intimate shots give more emotion, right? And then that wider shot establishes that context before the emotion, right? So it shows you, oh my God, it gives detail, it gives context. Like, where are we at? What are we doing? Oh my gosh, that's cute. And it's like, oh my God, they're getting married? Oh my gosh. And now I see detail. Then you see the ring. Then you see the other. Those are the shots that come afterwards. That's how you tell a story within your galleries, right? There's also giving you guys hacks for your galleries. When you guys start to deliver your galleries, the way that you present your gallery, like the order in which you choose to, lay out the photos for a wedding or for an engagement, especially, I make sure to do this for engagements. The way that you lay it out when they open up that gallery, how do they feel scrolling through it? Y'all might not care, but I do. I do this, right? So as they're scrolling through that gallery, I make sure that the feeling is consistent and the details change as the gallery progresses. And it's not just like, oh, wham, bap, 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 bap. I want it to flow. I don't want it to be like everything's all over the place. They don't understand like what's going on. I want you to be able to look at this wedding gallery 3, 4, 5 years from now and be able to feel that emotion that was there as we shot, right? All by how I placed and decided to, frame up the shots, right? You can frame up the shots and then also how you decide to lay out your gallery, all right? Wide shots answer, the question of where are we and what kind of world are we in? Like, are we in a real world? Are we in a fake world? What location are we at? What city? What state? What's the climate? You know what I'm saying? How cold is it? These are things that you won't know if you don't implement wide shots into your shots. So I'm gonna show you guys some wide shots. Wide shots aren't about the subject looking perfect. They're about placing them into a world, right? This is what helps your client remember the experience, not just how they look. They remember the experience. They remember how it felt. All right. These are the, oh my gosh, I remember that we were sitting on that swing. Oh my gosh. Like this is what triggers memories. All right. Still learning how to do this thing. Hold on, just vibe. There we go. So some wide shot examples of some photos that I've taken are these right here. So I've done some fitness. You guys know I do fitness branding a lot. I'm a personal branding and portrait. I'm a creative branding and portrait photographer, and I do a lot of different like shoots like that. So as you guys can see, there's some wide shot examples, right? These are even wide shot in a built set, as I showed you guys right here. This is a wide shot in a built set in my studio, and it's establishing. It's showing you where we're at. It answers a lot of questions that you don't even know that you may have. Like, oh my God, like what are they celebrating? Oh yeah, Christmas. Like it answers those questions that you don't even know that you may have had. Same thing with this one, wide shot. It establishes, oh, she's at the college. She's in front of the boom. She's in the bam. It establishes. If I were to just crop this in and it was a lot more cropped, it wouldn't be able to tell the full story, right? Same thing here for this wedding that I shot. I don't know why it's zooming out so crazy. For this wedding that I shot, same exact thing here, right? It's establishing. It's showing you the location. We're on a farm. You see a little, you know what I'm saying? You see a little guy in that back right there. You see a little buddy right there. You see what I'm saying? It's a little cow, right? If y'all remember him, you're lit because I filmed I filmed a few reels with him. That's my dog. But yeah, so it establishes, it shows, right? It shows everything. It shows the dress and it gives that feeling, right? And then also framing them up the same way how I did again. You guys be asking, just like so. Damn. Boom. I decided to sacrifice on this one, right? I sacrificed on this one and went with the top of their head as it. And I sacrificed because I wanted more of the location in here. I knew this was going to be an establishing shot. So I led them off to this third more so. Let me see. Can I change the thing? No, I can't. Led them off to this third more so to focus on them, but still be able to let you see the barn and everything else that's going on outside of here, right? Everything else that's going on out here. You guys still could see that and be able to, view that. I didn't want them to take up so many different boxes. When it comes to establishing shots, the thing that's important with these establishing shots is that your subject only fills about 2 of these boxes, maybe even 1 sometimes, depending on how wide you shoot, right? So with these establishing shots, you're really aiming for 2 boxes for your subject to fit in, right? I thought wide shots had to be super wide as long as it showed the location. I thought wide shots have to be super wide. No, they don't have to be super wide. As long as you show the location. If you show the location and your subject, like I was saying, if your subject covers like 2 boxes out of the 9, bro, you're good. That's an establishing shot. That shows location. You don't got to be super wide. If you make it super wide, yes, it's like an ultra establishing shot and it still establishes location, but you don't want it to be too wide to where if you're trying to bring attention to your subject, you don't want to take away from them, right? So I still have them big enough to where you're able to still focus on them, right? But there's still so much more location being shown in all the other thirds, right? Does that make sense, D? I know you probably can't talk right now. I think you're at work. Yeah, so you're focusing, because I still want my focus to be them. If I made it smaller and I wanted the focus to be the location, they would be way smaller. So you're not even really focusing on them. You see them, but they're kind of an afterthought. The location would be the first thing that you see. If they were sitting on a bench and you see a really, really big farm and they're covering like really, really small portion of the frame, they're like an afterthought, right? You don't really see them first. You may still see them first because they carry heavier visual weight, but it's kind of like that afterthought, right? So I put them just like that. Same thing over here with these, and same thing with my fitness branding as well, as you guys can see. So the location, you see how this is an establishing shot as well. It shows the location. It shows where she's at. She's at a gym, right? Both of them show the location, show the gym, right? They show where she's shooting. They show where she's at. They show what she's doing, right? Things of that nature. So as you guys can see, once again, you guys be asking. I framed this one with the top of her head because I was at a lower angle, right? That's what I'd be saying. When I'm at a lower angle, I still frame it through their head, but it's really up to you to decide how that shot looks, whether you want to go through the eyes, through the neck, through the chin, through the eyes, or through the head, depending on one of your 333s. I'm at a lower angle. I chose a lower angle on this one. If you guys want to see how I shot this, the video's on Patreon. Y'all can go watch it. It's out right now. Behind her, I had an 8200 aiming at this mirror, and then I had another 8200 aiming down at her with a grid. So that bit was aiming at the mirror, and then this 8200 was aiming down from the front. So that one was aiming at the mirror, and that's how she got this light behind her on the floor, the light trail. That was not the sun. That was a flash. It was a two light flash. Two light setup. So that video is on Patreon right now. It may drop on YouTube. I don't know when, but yeah, that's on Patreon right now. But I framed it up like that, so that way I could have it here. And then Lorenzo, this is your section right here. So having establishing shot. My rule for an establishing shot is if my subject covers 1 or 2 boxes, I can count that as a wide shot. I can count that as my establishing shot. That's me, right? In every single one of these, my subject's covering 1 to 2 boxes. No more than 1 to 2 boxes. That's a rough sketch. It's supposed to be up higher. But 1 to 2 boxes. Each time she's only covering 1 to 2 boxes, right? Using the squat rack is my bread and butter. Yeah, literally, yep. Leaning on it, really easy. You could boom, boom. And if y'all watch the video, I definitely came up with these poses. Every pose that she's doing in this shot, I posed her, right? A little flex, slight flex, subtle flex. But yeah, and the same thing with here. I'm showing you guys different ones. So out of studio, here as the out of studio one. This is the enclosed location again, but then this is the in studio one as well. Showing that location. It's one of the sets that I just built too as well. But still framing it up, same vibe. This one I went more so through her face. Still establishing because she only took up those 2, right? So if your subject takes up 2 squares, you can call that a wide shot, all right? That could be your wide shot. And now, when you get close, we're going to go into the next one. I'll show you how many squares you need to be taken up when it comes to medium, things of that nature, right? When it comes to a close-up shot, I ain't even going to be talking about that yet because I ain't get there yet. But wide, 2 squares, right? Wide is 2 squares. Medium is, I think, 3 or more, or damn near 6, but 3 or more squares. And then when it comes to close up, they're covering all the squares. They're in every square. Your subject is the entirety of the frame. And then that's when you start to frame it up differently and start focusing on different points, right? So anybody got any questions about these wide shots prior to me moving on? Raise that hand and I got you. Anybody got any questions? Because I got answers. Nope. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Is everybody understanding what I'm saying, though? Is everybody understanding? All right, go ahead, Garyon.
Yeah, how you doing? Now I just want to make sure that, so if you're on set, you're on scene, you're gonna start with the wide shot 9 times out of 10, unless you like being super creative, thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
It's for like an easy, digestible story for the viewers or the audience.
So if I don't know this client, right? I don't know this client. I don't know the person I'm shooting. I'm going into it fresh off the rip. I'm going wide shots first. I'm going medium shots. Then I'm going close-ups, right? So I'm wide because that's gonna be the most comfortable. That's gonna be the most comfortable shots to do because you're at a distance. That distance helps for them feel more comfortable as well to get into the groove. A lot of the time, their first 10 minutes, they're not fully comfortable. Especially if they're their first photo shoot, they're still trying to get loose up. They're still trying to loose. And if you start immediately with close or medium shots and you show them those, a lot of the time it's a lot harder for them to say like, oh my God, I love it. Or oh my God, that's hard. When you start off with that wide, then you get to show them their wide. They get to see their outfit. You're basically the mirror at that point, right? That wide shot shows them their outfit. It shows them like this. That's for like. So if you're in studio and you're doing that, that wide shot shows them their outfit, shows them how they look. It lets them get comfortable. So now they have that confidence. It creates confidence because when you're wider, sounds bad, but when you're wider, it's a lot harder to see the imperfections in your face. It's a lot harder to see the imperfections in your body. It's a lot harder to see those imperfections, right? You build that confidence. So now you got that confidence within them. You can dive a little bit deeper into your poses, into your framing, into your, wide, medium, the medium and close shots. But you want to build up that confidence, that shooting confidence with that client first. And then that's why I always start out with wide, right? And then we talk about posing. I'll tell you guys what poses I start off with wide. We're going into posing next week, so we're right around the corner. But those are things. But I start off with seated poses. So I'll start off with seated poses. If I have I'll just tell you this real quick. If I have like a a stool, like if they seem like they're very, very nervous, I'll start them off with a stool. If they don't seem very, very nervous, I'll start them off standing. But I'll be talking to them the entire time while they're standing, so that way like they don't feel uncomfortable. People who are more so uncomfortable, starting them off on a stool helps them have something to use, something to touch, something to hold, something to feel like they're a part of, because they're very, very nervous. So they're like, oh my God, like I need something to touch or hold. If you're outside on location, let them lean up against a wall, let them touch a railing, something like that to start off to make them feel comfortable. People like touching things when they don't know where to put their fingers or hands. They tweak out a little bit. They get really uncomfortable. They start feeling, oh my God, do I look stupid? That's how they feel on the inside. How do I know? Because I put myself in the shoes of a client. I always tell you guys, the best way to learn how a client feels is to become a client. Book a photo shoot with somebody. Feel how awkward you feel to shoot with someone else, right? Feel the things that you're feeling and note those things down when you're done with that photo shoot, right? Note down what did you not like about the photo shoot that photographer did that you would do better for your clientele. I did the same exact thing. Right? So these are things that are going to help as well. Like, oh my God, I felt nervous at this point and the photographer didn't say nothing to me, or I wish I would have done this or that, whatever it may be. Write those things down, note them, and be a better photographer. Right? So little things like that. But yes, I start off with wide, damn near with everybody. Even with this shoot in particular, if you guys saw the behind the scenes, I started off with the wide shots, then I went to medium and close, even though we shoot all the damn time. But I started off with wide because they see that location. They see how they look in that location. It's immediately a booster, because it's not all the weight's not on you. If you do a close-up shot or a medium shot, all the weight is on you, getting that light perfect, getting everything right, getting everything good. You want to frame it and show them how they look in frame, so when they look at it, like, oh my God, yes, let's do it, let's get it. Now confidence is boosted. Now I can play around and have fun. So I'll do that. So one thing I want to say too is I feel like a lot of you guys may be thinking that I say the first third of the photo shoot is wide shots. The second third of the photo shoot is medium shots. The last third is close-up shots. No, right? So it's a sequence. It's per pose, all right? If they're doing a one pose, I'm doing wide shots first, then medium shots, then close-up shots with that pose. We switch poses. The sequence starts over, all right? So don't think that I'm saying the first third of the photo shoot, because some people may be thinking that the first part of the photo shoot we just do wide, second part we just do that, third part we just do that. No. All right, with product photography maybe, but when it comes to humans and people, you want to do per pose, and then you recycle that. Did that clear something up for somebody? I feel like somebody might have had that question or might have thought that, and I may have just cleared that up. Yeah, right. 333. Exactly. 333, bro. I love y'all. Exactly. See, was thinking that, right? Okay, somebody was thinking it. I knew someone was probably thinking it, so I had to clear it up. I said, damn, the way I just said that, I'm pretty sure somebody just thought that I meant this, when in reality, I didn't mean that I meant this. So yeah, definitely per pose. You switch the sequence up per pose. 333, because you might see a shot within that pose, and if they change it, you're not gonna be able to get the chance to get that detail again. I had a client once do a little shot like this, right? She was posed like this, and I wanted to get this as a detail because she had that nail. She had like, some like glossy lipstick. She had like eyeliner done. Boom, I saw this as a shot, but I also saw a wide shot as a shot. So during the time I'm talking to her, I said, I got you, 3, 2, 1, hold it real quick. Boom, I'm snapping. I'm getting them all fairly quick so that my client doesn't feel, uncomfortable. And the thing that helps you get these quicker is having them in the back of your head already. I need a wide, medium, and close. You're going to start moving so much quicker. After I get the lighting how I like, I'm snapping. I'm wide, bam. I'm like, hold it, medium, boom, close, boom. That's 3 shots, 3 totally different shots of the same exact pose. That's variety. Now when they go into their pixie set, they're like, oh my God, I don't know how to choose. Oh, how do I choose the photos, right? You make it hard. Shot list. That is a internal shot list right there. When you guys be like, oh, you're writing down the shot list. I don't be writing it down. I just got that shot list ducked in my head. Like that shot list deep in my head. Boy, like I done did it so many times, it became the script, right? Run the play. Every time I do a different type of shoot, I run the play. How does this script right here fit real estate agents? How does this script right here fit a fitness branding? How does this script right here fit a wedding? How does this script right here fit a birthday? How does this script right here fit an engagement, a graduation? How does that script fit these different occasions for you to get variety for your client, right? Variety. All right, we on to the next thing. Yeah, buddy. All right, Medium shots. These are some of my favorite. I love wide shots. Wide shots are cool because you can't tell a story without wide shots. But medium shots, I think they're really cool because medium shots, they connect the subject to the environment. They make the subject feel, immersed into the environment because they're closer, right? So a medium shot is anything above the knees, right? You cut the knees, above the knees, damn near, sometimes the shin. I like to cut it at the knees or right above the knees, the thigh, something like that. Or at the knees, there's I used to call it a quarter third shot, but I used to confuse people. So saying the word quarter thirds, it was to scare people. But yes, medium shots are underrated, right? So this right here, if you guys are watching from TikTok or Instagram, join the YouTube channel. We're live over there so you guys can see what we're going on. I won't answer questions. I'm sorry, YouTube. Everybody's watching on YouTube. Join the Discord, you guys. If you guys want to join a part of the class, join. I'll put the link down below for you guys as well. We have class every Monday and Wednesday for you guys to join in. I like to give out free games, so I'm not charging y'all to watch me. You know what I'm saying? So, but I do have a real class going on with 50 students right now. So those are my number one priority. So if you guys have questions and you guys are asking, ask them in the Discord or something because I'm not going to answer because I have to tend to my students. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm giving out that free game because y'all still get to watch me. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's fair. Medium shots establish that context. A medium shot connects the subject to their environment and it shows you what is happening, right? In that moment. These images right here, they balance the emotion as well as the context, but make the story feel more natural, intentional, and alive. Keyword there, intentional, right? The medium shots make it intentional. The medium shot is like that plug to the socket. It's that middle. If you only got wide shots and you only got detail shots and no medium shots, the story can't even live. The medium shot's like the plot. I'll tell you guys the hook, the context, and the payoff. That's the same thing. You know what I'm saying? That hook is that wide shot. It's like, oh, you got me, right? That medium shot is that context, right? It's the meat in the middle. It's what's going on in the middle of the story. It's that plot, all right? It's the plot. I love medium shots. They're underrated, and they are some of my favorite shots to get, and I'm going to show y'all exactly why. Medium shots are like the easiest to frame up with the rule of thirds grid. They're the easiest to frame up with stuff around them using, leading lines, framing, negative space. Medium shots are like the easiest thing to frame, and they're so underrated, and a lot of people use them incorrectly. You know what I mean? All right. So medium shots. When to use a medium shot? When you're using a medium shot, you use it after the wide shot because it establishes that scene, it establishes that setting, it establishes that outfit, right? If you're in a studio, you don't got no scene or setting. So you got to establish the outfit. You got to show the whole outfit, just down to the socks. Like I'm Jerry, baby. You got to show everything, right? So when that subject starts, moving and interacting, it also helps when they're interacting with the background, or if they are in motion. That's a good one too. If you're faking emotion, try to get a candid shot or something like that. When you want emotion without losing context, when you want the story to feel natural and still feel alive, and you want it to, seem as if it's a part of a sequence, but not feel random. There's the best times to use those medium shots, right? So things that will help you with a medium shot and things that you can look for when it comes to medium shots are a subject interacting with the environment, maybe picking something up, a dumbbell, something like that, touching the background, picking up a object. Maybe they're holding flowers, right? If you're doing a studio photo shoot, they're holding flowers, right? That helps you out. That's another good one for you to use. Natural movement, walking, turning around, adjusting themselves, catching them in motion. We will talk more about this. If y'all have been watching for a long time, y'all know static and fluid, right? Catching them in these static and fluid shots to get candid shots. These are good times to use medium, right? I got you real quick. Hold on. And then also it gives that when you want to give clear subject separation, medium shots are good. All right. This will help, you be able to see the medium shot rather than trying to guess, right? So rather than guessing, you'll be able to see what the medium shot is. I'm gonna show you guys so you don't have to guess what the medium shot is. I'm gonna show you exactly what a medium shot is, right? So the wide shot sets up the scene. The medium shot brings the story to life, right? All right. This is how my brain works. Also, if you guys see that, nothing in here has it's everything is just driven, drawn everywhere. This is literally how my brain works. So this slide may look like it's just got a whole bunch of stuff on it, but this is literally just me taking what I put in my notes and putting it into a slide. So, yeah, take it or leave it. You know what I'm saying? This is how I got notes all the way at the bottom. I'm looking at the bottom damn, bro. I just got notes everywhere on this thing. But yeah, medium shots are usually my clients' favorites. because they feel real and they're not posed. Majority of the time they're not posed. They're moving and things of that nature, right? And then a medium shot also like shows you what's happening, not just where we are, not just the location, like what's actually happening, what's doing, what they're going on. Maybe they're holding a cake and blowing the cake out. That's a medium shot. I'm gonna show y'all some stuff, just vibe, right? So the reason that my clients love these is because it feels more natural and it feels and looks candid, even if sometimes it's not, because they're moving, they're in motion, or maybe I just caught them in an action. These are majority of the time action shots. It creates that connection between the subject and the setting. It's perfect for reels and social media as well. When you do a medium shot, if you're talking, like I heard you guys talking, like from the waist, right? That waist, that medium shot, medium waist up, talking shots. Maybe your client's a realtor and they're walking inside of your video, and you want to get them a nice shot walking and talking. It shows them as well as the location at the same time for that medium shot that makes them look like an authority. Depending on the different type of shoots that you do, different type of photography that you do, you can use these medium shots to fit your needs, right? So different little checklists for medium shots. Idea to keep in mind when you're shooting a medium shot: am I still able to see where they are? Because if you try to do a medium shot, you may accidentally make it into a detail or a close-up shot because you're not still allowing the frame to breathe. You still need to allow the frame to breathe, meaning that you need to still allow some of those squares to be open on that rule of thirds grid. All right. If you're using up all the squares in the rule of thirds grid with the main parts of your subject, it's not breathing. All right. So can I still tell where they are? Is something happening in the frame, right? If something is happening in the frame, that's what I'm shooting. Does the background add to the story? Sometimes it may take away, right? And if the answer is yes to all of this, then you're in the right range. You are zoomed in far enough. Showing you guys some examples of that right here. These are some medium shots that I love, right? That I've taken myself. Same wedding that I shot before, right here, as you guys can see. But this is a medium shot. I cut it at their knees. I still can see the location. They're still covering up a good amount of those squares, right? So I think for the medium it's 4, right? It's 4 squares in my mind. I think it's 4. But for the medium shot, they're taking up 3 to 4 squares, right? They're covering more ground, but I can still see the location, right? A good rule of thumb is to cut it at the knees. It's a really good thumb. Cut it at the knees. If you're doing your 3-3-3, cut it at the knees. Get you some different shots. Cutting at the knees, you got you a medium shot. Great. Cut it at the knees, right? Great little medium shot. So right here with show you guys, wedding, here, as you guys can see, when I'm shooting 2 people, I always go through both of their, like wherever both of their eyes meet. So I either take the tallest person's eyes or go in the middle of the tallest person and the shortest person to have it like medium. So if she's taller, shorter than him, I try to go in the middle of both of them. But when they're kissing, I just frame up the kiss, like the kiss, like where they're kissing at. I frame that up for the shot. That's usually my best shot. But here, you guys can see, framed up nicely. They're in the middle. They're still important. But you can still see a good amount of that background, right? Go ahead, Keenan. Oh, wait, hold on. Keenan had a question, right? Sorry.
Yeah, so as far as the medium shot, say for a case, I shoot a lot of high fashion. Usually it's just clothes. So would you say the medium shot in that case would be like their interaction with the actual outfit itself, since it would be like no props or anything like that?
And this is them wearing it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so exactly. So the same thing. It would be the same thing if you're trying to show off the clothing, the fabric, right? Things of that nature. So yours that you be focusing on would be those. You still use wide, medium, and what's the name the same, but your medium shots would be their interaction with the clothing. How are they moving with the clothing? Are they in emotion with the clothing? Are you trying to get something in particular on the clothing that you're focusing on? Maybe even if you like do a medium shot just up, like if it's a shirt, you know what I'm saying? You focus on like that. You know what I'm saying? Like the dress. If they're wearing a dress, you're focusing on the top portion of the dress. That would be your medium shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, thank you.
So like maybe your dress has certain types of designs on it, something like that, and you want to get the dress as well as the location, then that would be your medium shot. Or they have just a blouse on and they have business pants on or something like that, and they're walking, and you cut it at their knees and you put it up top, and you still frame it out to see enough of the background. That's the important part. It's like still being able to see a good portion of the setting so it doesn't take away from the location, right? You want that medium shot to add to the location. This isn't a wide shot where the majority of the location is being seen. You've already gotten those shots, right? Now we're moving on to that medium shot. That wide shot is cool. It establishes that setting. You got the setting. Now that medium shot is going to be the interaction with the subject and their location. If they're walking on a runway, you're shooting above those knees, getting that close shot in on them, their clothing, and a little bit of their background in those other squares. Make sense? Bet. Anybody else got a question about mediums as I continue? Same thing with all of these. Another lifestyle image right here. A medium shot. I just try to implement different examples of these medium shots of how I cut them at the knees. So this is one of the shots that I love. You can cut them at the knee or cut them at the belt. So this is another medium shot right here. This is not a headshot. Even though I did cut it through the eyes, the headshot would be more so framed up higher above like the breast level with his chest. I think that bottom line is supposed to be higher, but just for the sake of it, this is how I framed it for you guys to be able to see. All right. The same thing for her. Framed it through her eyes as well. Same thing with this. Her again, it was the same person. But you guys see how their interaction with an object. I have her touching onto there. I have her touching onto herself. So even for you, Kanan, with the clothing, maybe they're touching or adjusting the clothing. Maybe they have their hands in their pockets. Like, how are they interacting with their environment? But if it's clothing, then how are they interacting with themselves? Like, even for him, he's not interacting with his environment, but he's interacting with himself. There's still interactions. That medium shot adds story to it. You know, like, this is a businessman, adds story to it, right? This one right here adds story to it. She's interacting with the flowers and looking off into her environment. Same thing here. She's touching herself, right? Interacting with herself, her purse, and looking in the environment. Another medium shot. And she's framed up about the same way as well. I think it's went above her head a little bit. Just like so. Into that middle part. And all of these are open. All right. Any other questions before I move on to the next one? Anybody got questions? 4x2 and a 3x2 aspect ratio both can be used. I think I shoot 3x2. 3x2 is a wider aspect if you put them both together. A lot of time they kind of like damn near equate, but 4x2 and then 4x5 is what I crop it into when editing. Some people's cameras do 4x3, you can do 4x3 too, because like I think they're just like different sizes of each other. If you put them right next to each other, you'll be able to see the difference between the two. But it's really up to you on which one you want to, which one's more comfortable for you. I think 3x2 is more comfortable for me, and it's a wider aspect for me. And I still shoot full, so I still get the whole frame in there as well. All right. So yeah, same thing again with him. The same thing was done here. That medium shot. I'm just showing you guys different instances where I use these. Weddings, branding, lifestyles, grads. So yeah, so these are the branding. These are branding. This is graduation, lifestyle, wedding. Bet. I'm trying to erase, but it's not erasing. All right. Now we're moving on to tight shots, which are cool. And tight shots also, tight shots, you can kind of, I guess you can call them headshots in some senses, but they're a lot more tighter where a majority of your subject fits the frame when it comes to tight shots. The tight shots focus on that emotion, that texture, that detail. It removes everything else that doesn't, serve in the moment, but that also doesn't have, I don't want to say like that doesn't really have purpose, because when you're focusing on, the facial expression of someone, or you're focusing on the emotion that they have in their face, there's a lot of other things that you could have shown, like the clothing and stuff, but right there, that's not what you're trying to show. Your intent is showing the emotion of your subject. If you're doing a maternity session, maybe you're showing the emotion of the two, maybe you're showing the emotion of, the wedding, or maybe it's a close-up shot of how he's looking at her, or just different like that is, getting really, really close. Like a lot of the time with my tight shots, I like to get uncomfortably close. That's why I got the 24-70 so I can zoom in. But I like for my tight shots to be uncomfortably close to really get that feeling that you were feeling in that moment. I do this a lot at weddings, right? A lot at weddings, right? So tight shots, they enhance that story through intimacy. You guys know the word close is an intimate term. So these are things that, enhance it through using intimacy, that closeness, right? Things that you can look for when it comes to tight shots are facial expressions, small emotions, like if somebody got like a little, like maybe like a little, or maybe they're crying a little bit. Things like that I love to get. Like I got some of my clients crying at weddings. Some of them just looking at each other like a little scowl, like just different emotions. I like to capture facial expressions highly when it comes to these. Hands, eyes, maybe somebody's like jittery, maybe they're like they're fiddling with their hands. It gives that emotion. It's like, oh, why is he like fiddling with his hands? Getting that shot, that close up, right? Maybe they're like close to their whatever. However it is, close, framing it close. I'm gonna show you guys some examples as well. with these close or tight shots, when it comes to studio photography, you can be close, but you want to have that, you know, minimal distractions in the shot as well. So if you're doing headshots, or if you're doing kind of a close up, like I'm going to show you guys when I did one of my clients and she was like laying down, the close shots like that, you want to be able to focus primarily on the subject's face and don't have too much clutter going on behind them. Even if you're taking a close-up shot and you're outside and the sky is behind them, that's still that open space. That's good. Like, you know, so you don't have too much clutter. It's just you don't want too much stuff going on behind them when it comes to these tight shots. My clients love these tight shots because they feel a lot more personal. You know, they feel a lot more personal to my clients, and they highlight their emotion and different details that they usually miss. Like a lot of the clients, like my wedding clients will tell me like, oh my gosh, you captured the moment perfectly. You got all the details that I would have missed or that people weren't able to get on their phones. Or she would be like, you were everywhere. You know what I'm saying? I'd be the only photographer at the wedding. She's like, you were everywhere. You captured everything. You captured everything I wasn't able to see. And I'm everywhere that she was and then some. So I'm moving around running my 333, you know what I'm saying? And I got variety. So throughout the entire event, the entire wedding, nothing is like, I would say duplicated, but nothing is repeating. So it's your constant variety. It's like, oh my God, like how did you get this many shots? Like how did you get all these different varieties from this one event or from this one shoot or from this one time? When I'm doing personal branding sessions, it's hard for them to choose because I'm running at 333. Multiple different shots, multiple variety, giving that feel, right? So, you know, it helps emphasize emotion when it comes to these tight shots. These tight shots focus on that, you know, subtle expression and the meaningful details that other people will definitely miss. A lot of photographers don't do this. That's why I'm giving y'all the game, because a lot of photographers do not focus on this. A lot of photographers don't do this. When it comes to tight shots and detail shots, bruh, clients love tight shots and detail shots. Hey, I was late. Can you explain 333? I'm gonna post the recording. I got you. You gonna be good. I'm gonna post the recording. I got you. But quickly though, 333 is 3. The first 3 in 333 is wide, medium, close. Every photo shoot I run a 333, right? The first 3 is wide, medium, close. The second 3 is low, middle, high. Low, middle, high. So a high angle, low angle, middle angle, so like straight on. Right? High angle looking down, low angle looking up, right? And then the last 3 is a wide focal length, right? A medium like 35 focal length, right? And then a tight focal length, which is like 24, right? So that's 333. And you can change that combination up however you like. If you want to do a wide focal length and a detail shot, maybe you're at 24 millimeters or maybe you're at 12 millimeters, but you want to still get a detail because it still shows a lot, but because it's wide, you know what I'm saying, like a 12 millimeter lens or a 10 millimeter lens, and it's close. That's how you get variety in your shots. It makes it hard for your clients to choose. You get variety in your shots. All right. So that's what that is. Kenny. So those are things that I always make sure to run every photo shoot I do, whether it's in studio, on location, or whatever. It makes it hard for them to choose, but it also gives you that variety. So now when it's time for them to choose, they're not choosing 5 of the same exact images. I get tired. I used to do that. I used to spray and pray and get tired of them choosing the same photos, bro. I started running that 333. Man, stop it. That 333. Stop it. And that's what's been helping me to really stand out. So I'm giving y'all the game, giving y'all the methods. Do it, use it, take it, run. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. So when to use a tight shot, right? After a scene has already been established, what does that mean? After you've already gotten your wide shot, after you've already gotten your medium shot, now you get your tight shot. Why? Because you've already seen the entire image. If you don't capture the frame and you go straight to tight, you haven't even seen the picture yet. You don't even know how it's going to come out yet. Why would you take a tight before a wide? Right? You haven't seen the location. You haven't established it. You don't know what to focus on yet. You guys see that trend on Instagram where they're like, oh, you know, like the power of the crop. If you didn't get the wide, you can't crop. If you didn't get the wide, you can't see what's smaller. So you want to take that wide, look at your wides, and you'd be like, oh, what can I focus on? Now, what? Like if you're a landscape photographer, right? Y'all were doing some landscape photography last week, taking pictures of the entire cityscape. Then you see signs. Now you're like, oh my God, I took a picture of the entire cityscape. I looked at the picture. Now I'm like, oh, I'm going to focus on that sign. My next shot is going to focus on that sign. You can't focus on something smaller within the shot unless you've taken that establishing shot, right? So the best time to do that is after the scene is already established. The best way to do that, a wide shot, especially for you lifestyle photographers. Kenny talking directly to you, right? So wide, mediums, close. Clients love this, right? Girls are outside. They got their purse. They holding their purse. Take a picture of them nails in that purse, all right? Detail. Maybe they sit there. Maybe they sit their purse down. They put their hand on top of their purse. They might feel the type of way, but that photo gonna come out hard. Maybe they hold their purse to their chest like this, showing their nails and showing their purse. Whether it's a Chanel purse, whatever kind of purse it is, YSL, Louis V, whatever it is, they got their nails holding their purse and it's cute like this. Boom, get that close up. That's a tight shot. Things of that nature, details and tight shots, they love it. Then also get you that wide shot, establishing, show the location. If they're by a car, it's a wide shot. It's an established shot, location. Close shot, medium shot. Get all these different varieties, and now when they go ahead and get their lifestyle photos or get their branding session photos or whatever photos, it's so much easier for you as well, especially for a lot of you lifestyle photographers who don't edit, or a lot of you guys who have presets or want to speed up your workflow. You get variety. It's a lot easier for you to give it to clients, and it's a lot easier for you to not have to do too much to them because you have that variety, all right? And clients aren't going to be fighting between two images. Like, oh my God, you got two of these right here, and they look so good, but I don't know which one to pick. Like, my forehead look good on that one or that one. If you only had one, but you got so much variety, they only could choose one. You know what I'm saying? But you got variety, so they got so much more to choose from, all right? All right. Also, when these details tell a story better than the setting, it's time to get into a more detailed shot, right? Upsell them extras. Exactly. That's what I'm telling y'all. That's what I'm saying without directly saying it. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, this is how you guys make more money, bro. Like, to say it without saying it, this is exactly how you make more money. All right? You focus on these, you make more bread. All right, when the details tell a story, or you can see the details and they add to it, this is when it makes sense to get you a tighter shot, right? This also slows the viewer down. It makes the viewer look. If you have a tighter shot that's not so focusedly detailed, but it's a little bit tight, they'll look at it and they want to like see what's there. They want to see like, oh, what's this? Oh, what's that? They focus on it because it's a more closer detail shot, right? So wide sets the scene. The tight makes it more personal. Examples of some tight shots right here that I've gotten. So this is a wedding, Valentine's Day, wedding, and then maternity, right? So as you guys can see, I got that tight shot. His emotions. I wanted to give emotion. I want to see his emotion, right? So you guys one of these shots as earlier. Another thing again, that emotion, that softness, right? I'm in my soft girl era. I wanted to show that. How can I show that to the camera, given that soft girl era, right? So I use that tighter shot. So a detail and a tight. I'm going to try to show you guys the difference between the two. Or does somebody feel like they know? And they could say before I say, does anybody know the difference between a detail and a tight? Anybody? What do you feel like the difference between a detail and a tight would be? Go ahead, Dapper.
Okay, shot in the dark from half court. So I'm gonna say is detail shot would be something like you're focusing on like a singular point, like that is like the nail on the purse. So like, oh, you like the star of the show is the nail on the purse, whereas a tight shot is just a shot, kind of like it is just a kind of a zoned in shot, but it's the shot itself. That's my my.
You're there. That's right.
So
Kenny,
like,
go ahead.
so like rule of thirds,
go ahead.
Stuff. Like, oh, it's just an overall nice shot tight. Like, you know, like you said, a face and the hand, a face to the hand, like the hand to the cheek. I have a shot like that for a grad shoot I did. But like a detail shot is like you said, like the wedding shoot when they're holding hands. The star of the show are the wedding rings.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. Kenny, what were you gonna say? Go ahead, Kenny.
Some kind of along the same lines. Like the detail would be like with the purses, like taking pictures of the purse. That's the detail. Like the outfit. That's how I've seen it. And then like a close up would be like if they sit down or something, and then just take a picture like how the pictures up, like a headshot or something. That's the tight. Like that would be a tight one to me.
Okay, yes. So the way that you look at it would be you got that wide, which is big location. Then it gets a little bit smaller. That's that medium, right? That's that knees up, right? Then that tight. That's that chest up, right? That's that smaller box. It could be tight, chest up. It could be arm. It could be whatever like that. But it's a tighter shot, right? It's more emotion. You're capturing that emotion, right? Then that detail is way closer, right? So it gets smaller. So imagine if you have a bigger image and you keep cropping and cropping and cropping and cropping in. You get what I'm saying? Emotion versus emotionless. Emotion versus emotionless. In some senses, low key, because the emotion is the tight. The detail really has no emotion. I like that. I kind of rock with that Kanan. It doesn't really have an emotion. I get you saying emotion versus emotionless. I kind of like that. E versus E. I kind of like that. Definitely, Kanan. I like that. Detail like macro lens, tight like 90 millimeter. Like, yeah. I can see that. So definitely that detail is way more zoned in, way more focused, right, on a particular point. If I were to take this image right here of him with his nose ring and I focused on his nose ring or focused on his earring, that would now be a detail shot, right? Currently, this is a tight shot. It's getting that emotion. So you want to focus on emotion when you're doing tight shots. Tight shots still have the subject in them. Tight shots are focusing on the subject's face. This is one thing that you notice between all of these are the tighter shots, right? It's chest up. Tighter shots. It's focusing on the emotion of the subject. Then that detail is more zoned in. Whether I'm focusing, on an eye, whether I'm focusing on an earring, whether I'm focusing on jewelry, whatever it may be, right? So tight still has a subject in it. And it has the emotion, capturing the emotion. That's one thing you guys were having out of it, right? So that tight still has emotion because you can have a detailed shot that's about the same. That you can have a wide detail shot. You know what I'm saying? That shows a lot, but you're so close to the subject that it shows a lot, but it's focusing on one thing. That's still a detail. You know what I'm saying? So it's not always in the sense of a tight shot still has to show the subject in it. It wouldn't be a tight shot if it's just the subject's arm, elbow, or just the, just like right here. That would still be detail, all right? Because you're focusing on the details of what they have going on, right? You know what I'm saying? Those are details. Does that make sense? Tight still has the subject in it. Tight still focuses on the subject, right? The detail is the only thing that doesn't focus on the overall subject, right? It could just be a part or a portion of the subject, but the subject's face and the subject's emotion are still showing. In a medium shot, same thing. Subject's face, subject's emotions are still showing. Wide shot, same thing. Subject's face is still showing, right? Establishing shot, subject is still showing. Still the subject, right? Whether it's the back of them, the front of them, however the fuck. But that detail shot, the subject's face doesn't have to be in it. It could be the tie, it could be the bow tie, it could be the ear, it could be the thing on her hair right there, right? Those are detail. So like the beginning of class, if we go back to those detail shots, these are some examples of those detail shots again, right? These are details, right? You're like, oh, but isn't that a tight? No, it's a detail shot. The one up top right, detail shot. Focus on details. Tight has the subject in it, and it shows the subject's emotion. That's a tight shot, right? These are detail shots. Gonna go back. And these are those examples of those tight shots. Anybody have any more questions about tight shots?
I got a question.
Go ahead, family.
What's like another way I could incorporate tight shots in lifestyle? Because most people want to get like they whole outfit and stuff like that. Like besides the detail, like
start off. So you start off with. I'm gonna post this recording, but you start off with the wide shot. That's the first thing you want to do. You start off the wide shot, take a few of those, boom, boom, let them see it, build their confidence. Second, you're showing that medium shot. It's above the knees, right? Third, you're getting that detail shot, but you're running this as a sequence per pose. So each time they change their pose, you get a wide, medium, detail, wide, medium, detail. So that way they don't even have to think like, oh, I want detail, blah, blah, blah. Like, you're not only giving them details, you're giving them variety. The goal here is variety. So you're giving them wide, medium, and detail, not just detail. All right?
I see what you meant earlier. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So you're mixing them all in. So every time they change a pose, get you some wide, medium, detail. And the more that you have this script in the back of your head, you'll get faster, you'll get more surgical, and it'll become a lot easier for you to get these shoots done. Because now when they go look at all of them, like, damn, bro, we got a lot. You might have only did 5 different poses, but you just ran 3-3-3 on 5 different poses. That shit they got variety. You know what I'm saying? They got variety now, especially when it comes to lifestyle. Yeah, so run that play. Anybody else got a question? Because we're going to do like a little bit of a semester review because you guys know we're going to posing next month. And we got the event this Saturday. It's going to be huge. Well, I mean, I'm praying that's going to be huge, but y'all going to see the review. Y'all going to see the recap.
But is there like a place where we can see like the location and all that stuff? I've seen the flyer around, but I just know
Yeah,
like
I'm
location
gonna
and
send it. I'm
driving
gonna
it.
send it. So safety wise, because like it is an open event. I'm gonna make it. It's gonna be an open event, but I'm gonna drop the location like the day before. But for everybody
Oh,
in the
okay,
chat,
okay.
it's like 1, 2, 3. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's gonna be right here in Orlando. It's not gonna be far from nobody. But I'm gonna drop it in the Discord. I'm gonna drop it in the Discord. For everybody to
Okay,
be able
bet,
to.
bet,
It's
bet.
gonna be in the Florida Meetups channel. The day before I'll be dropping it. It's like with New York, I did the same thing. I dropped it the day before for safety. Because if I do that, if I drop that bit too early, people could start playing in too much BS or whatever. Like, nah, I don't even want that. We don't play like that. So I'm gonna drop that bit the day before. But it will be in Orlando, though. You know what I'm saying? It will be in Orlando.
Okay, bet.
Most def. Let's see. Boom, boom. All right, next one. All right, and this is just running back over our different techniques from the semester. Rule of thirds, once again, rule of thirds is the foundation, right? So when these are the things that mostly, I would say matter in when it comes to this 3-3 or wide, medium, close. You can use all of the 8 different composition and framing fundamentals that we've learned, but these are ones right here that I find that you kind of like think of or see the most when running that 3-3. The rule of thirds grid. Composition technique, dividing the frame into those grids, encouraging dynamic placement of certain key elements that you deem that are key to that setting, right? To that setup. Leading lines also helping guide the viewer's eyes to a focal point, like how the ring I said you guys before. In that it's a detail shot, but in that detail shot, the ring was the part we're focusing on, but the hands were leading all to that ring, right? Symmetry. Also very easy when how they were holding hands is the exact same thing on both sides. You see both arms. Symmetry, I feel like you see that a lot. When the guy's holding his suit, you guys saw that in the wedding photo. Symmetry, balance on both sides. Negative space also with that area surrounding the main subject, which can also help and phase it further when it comes to establishing shots. Having it more open, maybe you have the sky in it, different things like that. The negative space comes into play a lot. And then framing overall. Right, using all the elements inside of the image to create that frame around the subject, right? So whether you are doing a detail or a wide shot, like how I shot her inside of the gym for that wide, right? So all of these different elements in here are all framing her. You know what I'm saying? Whether you see it, think about it or not, all these different things are framing my subject, right? Same thing here. All these different subjects are framing my subject. Everything is framing. He has negative space framing him. So these are things that I notice a lot. Negative space up here that constantly I use over and over and over and over again when shooting, right? And doing different type of shots. And I think, yeah. So this is y'all homework. Right? Not due next class, but it will be due on the 1st because it'll be finishing off the entire what's the name. So I want you guys to practice this. I want y'all to exercise this on y'all next shoots. I want y'all to get surgical, you know what I'm saying? For your next shoots, I want you guys to practice exactly what we've been going over today, right? I want you guys to shoot the full story. Every time you meet up with a client, every time you meet up with a subject, anybody that you're going to shoot, you need to tell a story, right? This is the last homework of the semester. I don't want to hear it, D. It's the last homework of the semester, right? Of this semester before we go into posing so we can close this out, right? Last homework of the semester, right? So I want you guys to tell the full story. Wide, medium, tight, and detail. Wide, medium, tight, and detail. Wide, medium, tight, and detail. It can be the same exact pose. Wide, medium, tight, then detail. Then change the pose. Wide, medium, tight, then detail. It's going to help you get in that mode when it comes time to shoot. When you're trying to shoot, when y'all watch my videos, y'all be like, damn, Taxi, how the hell you did a photo shoot in 10 minutes? Y'all seen that 10-minute photo shoot challenge? I even did a 5-minute photo shoot challenge on YouTube, right? And I've done those shoots in so fast. You guys watch the behind the scenes and see it. I put a timer on the camera, everything to show you guys for that accountability. I'm able to do these things so fast because I run this method right here, right? I get that wide, medium, tight, get a detail, change that pose. Wide, medium, tight, get a detail, change that pose. The shoot done in 5-10 minutes, right? When it comes to like longer shoots or longer sessions, you could take more time. You could breathe. You could allow them to change, do things like that. In my mind, all I need is 5 minutes with any type of client. All I need is 5-10 minutes. My lighting's straight already. I need 5-10 minutes. I could get it cooking. All right. So I want you guys to get to that point where you feel so confident in yourself to where you can confidently say, I only need 10 minutes. I only need 30 minutes. I got a fire concept that I want to do. I got to hop out the car. I only need 10 minutes. If y'all see my anything for the shot series, I've done a lot of stuff. We went to abandoned buildings. We went to restricted areas. Did a whole bunch of different stuff. Went to an insane asylum. Did so many crazy types of photo shoots in these places where we had timelines, time frames, right? I wouldn't have been able to do them if I didn't have this method. If I didn't understand wide, medium, tight, and detail. These allowed me to do photo shoots in under 10 minutes, but be able to kick out so much content, but also be able to kick out so much fire shit, right? Get some heat in little to no time. If I want to collab with somebody, all I need is 10 minutes of their time. I don't need a whole day. You don't got to wax me. You know what I'm saying? Like, all I need is 10 minutes of your time. And I'm so confident in saying that now to where when I meet up with somebody we need to shoot, they got their outfit, everything together. I'm not taking apart your whole day. I only need 10 to 20 minutes of your time, less than 30. Right? 30 is a maximum. And I'm in and out. I got the shots that I need. I'm back cooking. All I need is 10 minutes of your time. So these are challenges and things that I want you guys to think about too, and things that I've done that also help you, because the more and more you can do them, if you start collaborating or whatever, and like, say for example, you're like, oh, I'm wasting a whole hour of my time to work with this person or blah, 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 and it's free work or blah, 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 or whatever. Cool. It could be free, but 10 minutes, 10 free minutes, 20 free minutes, 30 free minutes. That don't sound that bad as doing an hour. An hour for free sound a little bad. But 20 minutes of collaborative work don't sound that bad. 10 minutes, if you get that good, you can start coming up with concepts. You could present the concept to the people that you want to shoot with, and you tell them that all you need is 20 minutes. After they change, y'all start shooting, 20 minutes, you're done. You send them their photos, they select, you get them edited, and you're getting your content rolling. You're building your business, right? Building that confidence, right? So this is what we're doing. This is going to help you build that confidence. Whether you're a lifestyle shooter, what any kind of photography you do, lifestyle, portrait, branding, real estate agent branding photography, that's still branding, right? Anything, you can do this, right? So when it comes to real estate, your detail shots would be like a doorknob that has a certain type of engraving and stuff like that. If you got to think like, oh my God, what detail would fit for real estate? There's different types of things inside the house that may need to be shown, such as certain types of trimming, things like that. Every type of photography, every industry of photography uses these same things, right? So the objective here for this exercise is to train you to shoot with intention. We're trying to get surgical, right? Not just, for you to get one good photo, but for you to get a variety of good photos, right? The whole idea here is to storytell and get your clients to be like, damn, that's hard. Client satisfaction, right? So by mastering wide, medium, tight, and detailed shots, you will be able to deliver galleries that feel full, that feel premium, that feel professional, right? That make it a lot harder for your clients to choose, which is a good problem for you to have as a photographer. They might take a little bit more time. You got to put a time limit on them. Tell them one day. I'd be like, hey, bro, y'all got one day to select these photos or else. I don't tell them what the or else is. It's just the or else. All right, I'd be like, you got 24 hours to select these photos. It adds that urgency so they can kind of hurry up, because it is going to be hard for them to choose. But with it being more urgent, they end up selecting more photos. All right, grow your business. All right, so it's going to make it a lot harder for them to choose. It's going to increase your client trust as well as your perceived value, and you're going to have way higher upsell potential. Right? Sean's talking from he knows, because I just did his photo shoot for his birthday. So that's what I'm telling you guys. Like, your perceived value will go up so much more, because now they know, like, oh my gosh, Taxi gives variety. Taxi's going to get them shots. Or, Carolina's going to get them shots. Dapper gets the shots. You know what I'm saying? Sham gets them shots. Safi gets the shots. You know what I'm saying? Shanti gets the shots. Daniel gets the shots. Kanan gets the shots. Kenny be snapping. All right. So those are the things that you want them to be thinking when they attach it to your name. It's like, bro, every time you shoot. So now you start building up that rapport with all of your clients, because you keep getting variety with every client. Now, overall, your business is growing. Whatever your industry you're in, your business is growing. All right. All right. So you want to stop missing moments because you only shoot one type of way. You want to shoot all of these. You want to run that method. All right. So if your client says that it's hard to choose, if your client doesn't say that it's hard for them to choose, you didn't do something right. You want your client to be like, damn, it's so hard. How am I supposed to choose? That's the reaction that I'm searching for after every shoot. I want them to be like, damn, how am I supposed to choose? Like, how do you expect me to choose? Like, I have reviews of clients going, bro, I'm tired of Taxi, because ain't no way he took 300 fire ass photos and gonna tell me to choose 3. Ain't no damn way. You see what I'm saying? Little stuff like that is a good thing to have. All right. It's a good thing to have. All right. So before you shoot, that mental set that you need to have in your mind, before I press this damn shutter, what role does the photo I'm about to capture even play? right? What does it fall under? Is this a wide? Is this a medium? Is this a tight? Is this a detail? What the hell does this fall up under? What is this? What is this? Ask yourself, right? What is that, right? All right, so the 4 different shoe types that you guys need to have and get, which are non-negotiable. These need to be your non-negotiable every time you're shooting. This is also a part of your homework, right? That wide shot, the scene setter, right? Y'all can screenshot and shit as needed. Y'all can screenshot this one too. I don't know if y'all didn't get this one yet. Hold on, I'm gonna go back for y'all. Y'all can screenshot that real quick. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Excuse me. I'm gonna still put it in a thing for y'all. The four shot types you need to get that are non-negotiables. Your wide shot. This is your scene setter, right? Your wide shot. The purpose of your wide shot. The purpose. Use the meetup to do your homework. You might as well. The purpose of your wide shot is to establish environment, to establish context, and is to establish mood, right? Your checklist here, right, is, let's say, for example, you need to make sure that the subject is in frame, make sure the environment is clearly visible, and you need to be able to, show where the shot is happening, where the shoot is happening. For example, right, full body showing their surroundings, right? If you're in studio, you want to be, have it wide. Maybe you're showing the lights. Maybe you're showing the lights on purpose, or showing the setting, or showing the, showing that's that wide. That's establishing. Maybe you show the setting. Maybe you show some of the props, things of that nature. I even do ultra wide shots in the studio too, and still send those to my clients because sometimes they like that. You can see the ruggedness of the lights and all this stuff. It shows that you're on set. My clients be loving that. That's that look behind the scenes that they just throw in there. You got to think like that. You have to think like, what do my clients like? Not just thinking like a photographer. You need to think like, what do my clients like? Okay. What are these things that my clients are going to want to throw in? Because I have a lot of clients, they be just throwing random little clips of themselves. They'll be throwing random raws, and that's cool. I don't got a problem with that. But make sure that all your shots are hard, so that way you have that confidence behind sending your clients their unedited photos. When you send them those unedited photos, you have so much more confidence now, because you're like, bro, I know all them shit's hard. Every single one of them hard, because you have that confidence, right? So another example is, outdoor shot showing the location. These all will give the story context. Second shot is a medium shot, right? This is the balance. This is that middle ground. This that plug to the socket, right? So the purpose right here is to connect the subject with the environment without losing any form of detail. For example, waist up, knees up. This is how they need to be framed, right? Subject needs to be clear. Background still needs to be intentional and in the shot. This is great, these are great for poses that you may have, maybe candid shots or in motion shots, moving, turning around, flipping hair, things of that nature, hand on shoulder, things like that. How are they interacting with their environment, or how are they interacting with their clothing, right? This is that real safe and versatile shot, right? Because you can't really get it wrong. You kind of can't really mess up a medium shot. A tight shot. This is the emotion, all right? This is the emotion. That's what you're focusing on, that, right? The purpose here is to capture the expression, the energy, and the connection of the subjects. Maybe there's two of them. How do they connect with one another? A tight shot. How are they feeling? Are they in love? Are they kissing? Are they hugging? What's going on? Maybe you're doing a branding session. You're doing a tight shot because they're holding, whatever the product is close to their face, and that's the tight shot that you're getting, right? That's that tight. I'm telling y'all can use so many different ways, bro. Face checklist for this is gonna be face, shoulders, or a chest up shot. Strong eye contact, expression, minimal background distraction, minimal background movement. This is where clients will feel seen. They love it. Oh my God, that face shot hard. New profile pic. Little stuff like that. They're like, new profile pic. Like, what? They be loving these. Pinterest board. Oh my God, they be loving these, right? Then a detail shot, right? This is that. This that salt. Maybe this is your adobo. I don't know what kind of stuff y'all use when y'all cooking, but maybe this is that. This is that flavor, right, to the seasoning to your salad, sauce, steak, whatever you're cooking. This is going on your steak. Y'all cooking steak? This is going on your steak. All right. Purpose here is to add texture, storytelling, depth, and even luxury sometimes if they're holding a luxury item or something that wants to give detail to whatever they have. Sometimes guys be spreading money, and they want that money spread to be in detail. Maybe they spreading it on their arm, and you got the detail of them hundreds on that arm. Or maybe they got 20s. Maybe they broke and they got 5s. They spreading them 5s. They want you to get the detail of them fives in their arm. You know what I'm saying? Or maybe they don't want you to get detail because it says motion picture only. So maybe you zoom out a little bit and you get you a medium shot, because sometimes they hunters be saying motion pictures. So you want to be safe with that too as well. All right. So hands, jewelry, shoes, fabric, tattoos, props. This here, there's no face required for this one. Focus on textures and intention, right? Focus on the knit of the clothing, things of that nature, details, texture and intention. How can you add texture and depth to that shot with it being so close, but still give attention to it, right? So the execution rule here is for every pose or moment that you're capturing, you need to have a wide, you need to have a medium, you need to have a tight, you need to have a detail, all right? 3-3-3, 3-3-3. Tight and detail go together, because sometimes I'll get a tight and you get a detail within a tight. So I left those as 1. So those are still part of a 3-3-3. It's not 4, it's 3-3-3. All right. So same pose, same moment, just different framing. This forces the awareness and consistency within your shots, right? So you need to lock in with this one. All right. So don't try not to move your subject on some of the shots that you do, but try to get different shots and see how quick you can line up those shots. Because the more and more you do it, the faster you'll get, the more surgical you'll get, and the quicker your shoots will be, and the faster they can get up out your face, right? And the faster you can make money and continue to run it up because you know what you're doing. So every time you finish a shoot, you go to the next shoot because you all I need is 20 minutes. And you could go. Now you could do shoots for less time and still make the same amount of money because you know that you're faster. You see what I'm saying? You could do a shoot that you might charge for an hour. You do it in 45 minutes or 30 minutes, depending on how quick you are and how confident you are within yourself and your craft and your framing and your 3-3-3-ness, right? Make you some bread quicker, faster, expeditiously. All right. So try to only change your position and your focal length. Try to slow down between each shot and think. And as you continue to do these over and over again, you will get faster over time. So the submission requirements for your homework, you need to submit 4 to 8 images total. You get 8, obviously you're going to get extra credit, but don't make them boring, please. Right? Label each one if you can. It's really easy to upload your images to your iPad or to your laptop and just change the name of them. You could just change the name of the images that you're using or duplicate them and then rename them or something to what's wide, medium, tight, detail. Or just label them however you can. Or some of you guys have been submitting Canva slide presentations or slide presentations as well, or putting them on, like, you guys can use Freeform as well. Put your images on Freeform, put your notes next to the image and screenshot those and upload those as well. Freeform is a free app that I use to storyboard all of my photo shoots, my creative photo shoots, not every single one, but my creative photo shoots are high paying photo shoots. I use Freeform. It's free. I made a video on it. So yeah, but reflection also, you guys answer these as well. Answer each one after you're done shooting, and when you put them, like, to submit your homework. This is the last homework of the semester. I might throw another one. I'm joking. I'm not. Which shoot type did you usually avoid, and why did you avoid it? Like, which of these shots, wide, medium, tight, detail, which one did you avoid? Which one did you notice yourself avoiding? Which one did you stop and like, I don't want to take that shot? Like, which one did you see that you were avoiding? Because that might be the one that you need to learn more. You know what I'm saying? That might be the one that you don't know the most, right? Which shot did you take that surprised you the most? How did shooting this way change your awareness in photography? And if you were the client, then which image would be the hardest for you to let go of? For example, if I'm the client, I have to choose 3 photos. I have to choose 3 photos out of these 8. And I'm like, damn, which ones are the hardest for you to let go of? Like, oh my God, because they were so good, right? Detail, usually always going to be detail. Success criteria is going to be that you completed correctly if your gallery feels intentional. When you look through your images that you're submitting, does your gallery feel intentional and not random? When you look at them, like, does it feel like there's a story here? Like, you have to think, like, take a deep breath, breathe, close your eyes, open it back up, and look at your photos. Is there a story here? Can I tell what's going on? Can I tell where they're going, what they're doing, what's the vibe? Is it their birthday? Can I tell what the vibe is? Or just a night out? Did they just get fly and take some pics? Can I tell, right? And your client should definitely struggle to pick their favorites. If you're doing a client shoot for your homework, your client should definitely struggle to pick their favorites. And also, if you can clearly explain why each image exists and the intent behind it, and you weren't just spraying and praying, then you will succeed, right? Final reminder, great photographers do not just take photos. They give clients photos without sacrificing the quality of those photos, right? We don't just spray and pray, we get surgical, all right, you guys? We don't just spray and pray, we get surgical. All right. More intention equals more value, which means you will get better clients. And the more and more you continue to shoot, the better the clients will be that you continue to get. And the more intentional that you get with the shots that you take, the better clients that will continue to come your way, because you will have taken the needed steps to get those higher quality clients, because you are upping the quality of your work, but also more importantly, upping the quality of the experience that you give your clients, because they have variety. Variety adds to the overall experience of your clients. All right. Anybody got any questions before we close up? We got 6 minutes left. And yes, we still have class on Wednesday. Anybody got any questions? Anybody want me to go back to a slide, take a picture or something, screenshot or something of that nature? Anybody got a particular slide they want to see again? Nope. How about peace? All right, bro. Can we get the slides added to the class? Yeah. Let me see how I can export them. I think I can export them and put them on there for y'all to be able to use. I mean, we'll look at a review. No questions today? Damn. Say less. You remember back in the day when you used to like turn these and twist them and like pop them back in school? Like you just like twist it, just like. I had to, bro. It was for the inner jit. It was for the inner jit in me, bro. Had to do it. All right. No more questions? No? All right, bet. Easy class, easy vibes. Good. So y'all know y'all homework and everything you be doing. I'm gonna be sending y'all everything, bro. I love you guys, man. I will see you, Jay and Nayo tomorrow. Y'all schedule y'all one-on-ones. So I will see y'all both tomorrow. I mean, y'all gonna be at different times, duh. But like, I'm just saying. I know I got y'all scheduled for tomorrow. Have y'all questions ready when you guys schedule a one-on-one. Make sure you have your questions ready so when we start, we can hit the ground running. If you want, you can tell me a little bit about yourself and your business, or if you feel like I already know you, then you can just start talking. But yeah, so we're gonna start off with, when it comes to one-on-ones, with questions that you guys have to ask me. I think this, I might only be doing this for January. I'm gonna try to keep it going, because if I do it each month and I give everybody one-on-one each month, and it's 50 of you guys, I may be able to actually like level that out in a good way. So if it's 50 of you guys divided by 4, that's 12.5 a week. So like that's 12 or 13 a week. I'm gonna say 12 a week. So 12 a week, and then 12 divided by 7, that's like 1 a day, between 1 to 2 a day. Yeah, so I should be able to do that. That's fine. I might still do that, because I'm about to after the first of this month, I'm kicking everybody who hasn't come to class is getting kicked out of the class. So if you haven't made attendance to class, at least half of the classes, then they're getting kicked out. So you're gonna see a lot of numbers drop when it comes to class, because I don't want to feel like I'm scamming nobody. Like I don't want anybody to be in the class, getting assignments stuff and then not doing anything or not joining the class, something like that. So anybody that hasn't been to class will be exiting the class. All right. Which I feel like is fair, honestly. They just won't pay for next month. So I'm going to just like get them out of here before the 31st so they don't pay for next month. So it's not like I'm taking nobody money. I can only make Mondays, so that's perfect. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. If you can only make one of the days, that's fine. Like it doesn't matter. That's why I do 2 days. I know some people got different work schedules. Some of you guys are off on Wednesday, some of you guys are off on Monday, and some of you guys got different times and stuff like that. So I try to do my best to be here for both days. Did you guys like this style of class? Would you guys like for me to continue to I'm trying to do the slides route? Or did you guys like that? Do you guys feel like it was easier for you guys to follow along? Yeah, a lot easier to follow along. Okay, bet. All right, so I'm gonna do my best to keep doing that. I think it was way easier. Yeah, I fuck with the slides more. Yeah, okay, bet. But the 3 hours before class started, I was working on the slides. So I was typing those up 3 hours before class started. So I might be able to do that. Like if I take off Mondays and I could use Mondays to plan for Monday and Wednesday class, it should be good. I won't be in next Monday. And don't X-file me. Bro, I already know you. I know you won't. Just turn in your homework though. 'Cause I know you about to be in Colorado surfboarding and shit. LOL, bro. You could join and say hi or something. I feel like at 8 o'clock you ain't gonna be doing nothing. I mean, then again, you might be twerking on a yacht. At 8 o'clock on a Monday though, you probably gonna be right in that cabin, bro. You gonna be right in that cabin, bro. Knowing damn well you in that cabin. I love y'all, man. I'm about to sign off. All right. I'm gonna be making a video on 333 for y'all. I'm gonna do my best to explain it in the best way possible. I'm gonna try to like write up some notes and see if I can get it to make more sense out in the air rather than just in my head. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you guys later. Okay. All right, everybody. Lock in your one-on-ones. Schedule your one-on-one before the end of the month. All right. So you can have your first one for January set and gone. All right. Schedule your one-on-one. Schedule your one-on-one if you haven't already. All right, you guys. Pick a respectful time, please. Don't pick no crazy ass time, and try not to pick a weekend, please. Try not to pick a weekend. All right. They're on the thing, D. It's on there. It's in the one-on-one. It's in the one-on-one chat. First in the one-on-one chat on Discord, and then it's in the one-on-one on the Patreon update, and it's on the Google Classroom for you to go to your one-on-one. The only thing that it says on there is make sure that you don't have. I'm gonna cancel that. If you schedule me for 6 a.m. on a Saturday, you're done for. I'm canceling it. I swear. But yeah, I think I'll get a haircut on Saturday so I can go for the meetup. I'm locking in the models for Saturday, you guys. I'm still locking that in because I don't want to have too many models. I want to have an abundance of photographers though, because it's primarily for us. But I got some crazy like content ideas. We gonna run it up, bro. Bring y'all POV mounts. Be ready for content. We about to have some damn fun, bro. And I'm trying to make this like you know how they do run clubs. I'm trying to make it like a run club. We do it once a month or twice a month or something to we can build this community. We're gonna build this community. I'm gonna do a different city each month too. So yeah, I think next month we might go straight out of Florida next month. I don't know, or we might do Miami next month or Tampa next month and then go out of Florida. We're doing Atlanta in April though for sure. I'm getting everything scheduled for that too. It's gonna be Atlanta for April. I think it's the last week of April. I'm gonna tell you right now, for Atlanta, we're looking for April 24, 25, 26. If I'm not mistaken. April, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, 24, 25, 26 for the PNG meetup for Atlanta. So I'm gonna make sure that yeah, Atlanta, yeah. So I'm trying to make sure that everybody who's in Atlanta, I need to make sure that all of y'all are then though first. April 24th is also our IRS tax payment due, business tax due is on the 24th of April too, by the way. But I'll make some more stuff about that too. But yeah, damn, I'll be there for a tour next month. Oh, that's lit. All right, I love you guys, bro. I gotta go for real. All right, talk to y'all later. Hasta luego. All right, YouTube, love y'all. All right, TikTok, love y'all. All right, Instagram, love y'all. TikTok or Instagram, y'all got any questions? Or YouTube, y'all got any questions before I end? I can talk to y'all now because I just ended class. YouTube still here, TikTok still here, Instagram still here. Anybody got any questions before I end? I'm about to end, but anybody got any questions? Let me know. Nobody? All right. I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all later then.